Hello, this is Tim Campbell at TBC Action Coach of Indiana with our Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local businesses and promote them through our social channels and email database, as well as provide them some coaching if they're up for that. The reason that we're doing this, it's a no cost, no obligation opportunity that we are doing because if all small businesses are strong, then the economy is strong. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Andrea. Andrea, it is fantastic to have you on the program today. Welcome.
Hey, Tim, I'm so glad to be here. Looking so forward to our conversation.
Wonderful. Well, let's start with you introducing yourself and tell us a little bit of your story.
Yeah, well, we lead from the essence of who we are as a person. So I'll start with a little bit around my personal. So I'm a wife and a mom and a bonus mom to three awesome kiddos who take up a lot of focus and energy in such a good way. And, you know, as a leader, I always say my greatest leadership lessons have come from being a parent, for certain. My faith is really important to me and my family. That keeps us grounded and focused on the right things. I've always been very visionary and future focused, and so work really hard as a leader to be intentional about how I'm spending my time and what I'm focused on. And so I spend a lot of time strategizing and exploring the possibilities for not only my life, but also for our business. So I lead HRD Advisory Group. It is a super talented group of talent development professionals. And our focus is really equipping leaders to get results through their teams. So I feel so fortunate to get to do that. My work is so integral to my life that, you know, Tim, it doesn't even feel like work. It is really energy giving and fulfilling. So I feel so grateful to get to do the work that I get to do with my team and my clients.
Fantastic. And how long have you been doing this?
So I've been at HRD for 4 years, which is so hard to believe. But my entire career has really been focused on the growth and the development of talent. And it's so, I mentioned that it's really integral to who I am. You know, just naturally, I've always been an encourager and a maximizer and someone who's been focused on the growth of individuals. So it's so fortuitous that I found my way into human resources and then very quickly gravitated to the talent development piece of the HR talent spectrum. So across my 20-year career, it's really split internally, leading HR and talent teams. And then, gosh, at this point, like 14-ish years consulting. I was with a business called Flashpoint for many years, really growing that organization, helping to grow that organization and expand the work that we were doing across clients and focusing on business development with them. And then went from Flashpoint to Defenders, where I led talent and HR for 3 years. And then connected with, I should say reconnected, because the founders of HRD were friendly competitors when I was at Flashpoint. And so I always had that connection with them. And they were really looking for someone to come in that had consulting, operations, and talent HR experience. And I really fit that mold. And so now I get to run a business doing work that I'm so passionate about and love so much. So what could be better than that, right?
Fantastic. So tell us, who do you serve? Who's your best client or what we call a target audience?
You know, it's so hard. I love all of our clients. So we work with a lot of mid and large size organizations, really serving them in two ways. So again, our focus is equipping leaders to get results through their team. So our expertise is facilitation and coaching of leaders, building out leadership development programs. So you know, if I had to pick a client that we've just had so much fun with over the last couple of years is MasterCard. So they have an operations and technology group in St. Louis, actually in O'Fallon, just right outside St. Louis. Yeah. And through relationships that I'd had previously, I connected with the president of business operations for O&T within MasterCard. And she really had a vision of growing her technical leaders to help drive more innovation through the organization. And so I have been coming alongside her over the last couple of years, really equipping these technical leaders. If you think about technical leaders, they're really good at getting results on their own. but they had never been equipped to get results through their team members. And so we do a ton of focus on, enabling their team members to be successful. So situational leadership and coaching and giving feedback. We focus a lot on inspiring a shared vision because, they're typically operational and heads down. And so really building those vision casting muscles within them. So over the last couple of years, we've trained over 300 leaders within that group.
Wow.
And now you have mentors in that group that are supporting. So there's this sustainability, and it's really built leadership capability and driven the organization forward. We, to track our success, we look at multiple data points. And one of the data points that we measure is their engagement scores, because they're tracking those regularly. And this group of leaders has the highest engagement scores across any leaders in the business. So clearly an indication that they're growing in getting their teams engaged and improving their performance of their teams.
That's fantastic. So, Andrea, what's been the greatest impact that COVID has had on your business?
Yeah, and I love the optimism in that question because, gosh, last year at this time, it was all just happening. And I was spending my days talking about cancellations and shifting. We came into 2020 on the heels of the best year in the history of our business, like a lot of organizations, right? So we had really aggressive growth targets. And, I'm so grateful for the experience, Tim, because it really gave me an opportunity to leverage the things I talk about all the time. Like I had to fall hard on my values and my vision and my why, and to persevere through that time. And so the thing that we did, we very quickly shifted our model to virtual programming. And fortunately, we went into the year with MasterCard and some other large global clients where we had a virtual solution. So we took that model and quickly adapted it and shifted it. And oh my gosh, the hours of virtual facilitation and coaching we've done over the last year. I know you too have been doing a lot of that. But that's where we shifted, is all of our in-person. And now, so with MasterCard is a good example. Just last year, we took over 100 leaders through a 6-month development program, and their results were incredible. Their behavioral assessments pre-post scores went up, engagement scores went up, their net promoter scores around that program were so high. So clearly there's still so much value, and it is shifting your thinking from like, how do I create this system where leaders can grow and develop? So building in a lot of accountability, building in exercises that they can check in on. It really is, building a system for growth to happen over that time.
Isn't it interesting that, well, first of all, congratulations on being able to pivot so quickly, but isn't it interesting that, pre-COVID, the idea of having a Zoom meeting or our Zoom training was kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
And then we were all forced into it, and we've learned that it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. When used in the right way and at the right time and with the right people, it can be so effective, as we're seeing. The data show that.
Absolutely. So here's an interesting question, Andrea. It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So what mistakes have you made along the way that you'd be willing to share with our audience to help other entrepreneurs learn from your experience?
Yeah, so it is that, like, getting results through your team. I am such a driver, such an initiator. Whenever I have an idea around something, I'm ready to go. I don't need to spend a lot of time. I trust myself. I trust the process. I trust life. And so I'll just dive into things. And one of the things as a leader that I've really been focused on over the last couple of years is giving my team more ownership. One specific example I'll share is our strategic planning this year. The team led our strategic planning going into 2021. And it's incredible to me, the difference in their engagement levels and the ownership that they have. One of my team members in particular has stepped up. Big part of our strategy is marketing around, we have a new product that we're launching this year. And so she has really stepped up and owned that. And it's nice. It has freed me up to focus more externally and bigger picture and doing some things personally that bring me more fulfillment. And So it's a reminder to entrepreneurial drivers who are going really quickly to stop and enable the people around you to lead. It's good for them and it's good for you.
Fantastic. That's probably one of the biggest challenges that I hear is an ability to let go and trust that other people can take it on. So congratulations on being able to do that, but more importantly now teaching other businesses how to do that. So thank you for sharing that with the audience.
Well, and I will say, I mean, I call at least 10 do-overs every day. So I could give you the list of mistakes and learning opportunities is very, very long. I mean, just yesterday, I was talking to a CEO of another organization here locally, and we were talking about that. Like, do you ever really know what you're doing? You know, isn't every day an exercise and experimentation and well, let's see what life's got for me today. Because just when I think, I mean, but there's a humility in that I think is so important for leaders. Because early in my career, you know, I've always been naturally pretty confident. I think my parents really instilled this belief in me that I can do what I want to do, and there's some good things about that, but sometimes that gets in my way for certain. And I had a leader early in my career that actually said to me, like, you get way too big for your britches sometimes. Like, come down off that ledge. And so it's good for me to remember that. Like that I really don't have any idea what I'm doing. And so I shouldn't pretend that I do. I've got thoughts and ideas and I've had some lessons learned, but that's the value that I bring.
One of the things that we talk about with clients is the idea that how did we all learn how to walk?
Oh, yes.
And it was by making thousands of mistakes before we figured it out. So why should we think that learning how to run a great business is going to be any different, right?
That's so true. Yeah, really, it's a great analogy, especially because you crawl and then you stumble around before you're actually walking. Yeah,
And
that's
the
good.
difference, the big difference between that and when we become adults is at the time we were given praise and encouragement and love and support, right? So we didn't know we were failing. We just knew we were doing exactly what we were supposed to.
Yeah,
So when we get
exactly.
into the business world, we need that same encouragement and
You got
support.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second last question here. I'll get your contact information to include in this post, but is there anything else that you'd like to make sure that the listeners know?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this new tool that we have coming out called Power Amp Coaching. And, you know, because if you think about leadership development, it really is about equipping leaders to get results through the people that they're serving, right? So that's where servant leadership comes from. And one of the things that we've been challenged with our mid and large size organizations is being able to get that development, that coaching out to the masses of leaders. So we have this new technology based leadership coaching tool that allows us to do that. So we can e-coach and we can e-lead. It keeps us in front of and connected to leaders, and it gives us the ability to scale leadership development. So it's a tool called Power Amp Coaching, and I'm really excited. It's tech enabling the work that we do. So it's really exciting to launch that and to see clients get really excited because it's also a cost effective model. And it just so personally, you know, my why is uplifting leaders, you know, lighting the way for other leaders. And so it gives us an opportunity to touch more leaders in more organizations.
Fantastic. And when does that launch, Andrea?
We're launching it now.
Awesome. All right. So we'll make sure to get the link on this when we post the video so folks can check it out.
That'd be great.
Fantastic. Thanks. Last question here. What's been most inspiring to you, Andrea, over the craziness of the past year?
Growth has been most inspiring to me. You know, I just within myself, within the leaders that I see, within our family, I'm learning this year to just really be honest about how I'm feeling, not just all the good things that are happening, but the really challenging times. It's the more I confess and talk through those things and process those things out loud with trusted advisors and with my team, and the more I grow through that. So I'm just really inspired by growth right now. I see the more open and vulnerable I am with others, it gives others permission to do the same. And that's what creates connection.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I've seen some of your shares on
Yeah.
social media where you've gone into that and
Yes.
really put yourself out there. And I think that's just tremendously inspiring to give
Mhm.
others permission to do the same. So thank you for your vulnerability and your sharing.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. And you are always so encouraging, Tim. I appreciate you encouraging my heart, as you do so many leaders.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So for folks listening to this, if you've heard something that you'd like to learn a little bit more about, please reach out to Andrea. Like I said, I'll include the contact information along with this video. Take advantage of the opportunity to learn about the different services that their company provides to uplift your leaders. And Andrea, it's been a pleasure learning more about you and your business today, and I wish you tremendous success.
You too, Tim. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a great day.
You too.